Hello, everybody. It's Laura Eisenhower. I'm having another one of those moments where I just need to share what's coming through. And the lighting's not good. I'm not really dressed in a professional way, and I don't really care. This needs to be said. This is really for individuals that will not look at the deeper layers of what's really going on in the world. This is for people that assume that anybody that's calling out certain crimes against humanity are conspiracy theorists or on some like political side, and it's been called right-wing conspiracy. So this isn't about politics. This isn't about saying that the Democratic Party is all corrupt, but something has happened and it's definitely infiltrated. If anybody's really done their research, though, they would know that both sides of the political systems are very much owned, just as much as both sides of war have been funded by the same dark cabal. So yes, rabbit holes upon rabbit holes, and it's not easy. It's not easy to all of a sudden feel the foundation of your reality crumble beneath you because there are deceptions hiding, and the infiltration of our school systems is what makes it really, really difficult. And that's why some people just can't go there, can't even begin to look at the possibility of, this dark shadow government even existing. But if one does research about the Khazarian mafia and the Bavarian Illuminati, the Anunnaki, we got to look at this bigger history that we're not going to get in the school system. And so it's a really harsh reality. And a lot of us that talk about these topics, we don't have an easy time at all. This is a lot for us to process. So it's not like we're just coming in and being like, ooh, let's just talk conspiracy and it's all a conspiracy. No, a lot of us are critical thinkers. A lot of us are focused on the greater intention of protecting children, stopping human trafficking rings, calling out things like satanic ritual abuse, and busting these larger power structures and the dark players that operate them, and the shadow elements that operate the leaders and individuals that might be more visible to us. So it's not about naming names right now or saying, this political structure or that political structure or this religion or this, or the whole Hollywood industry, is corrupt. But there's something so hijacked, and it's up to us, the people, to rescue ourselves, those that are victims, and also the ones that are being blackmailed. It's up to us to shine light on truth. And it doesn't mean that we're the savior. It's just we're not, if we're not willing to live in this facade anymore, that's the first step. So the unwillingness to exist in the facade begins to help call our power back, and it prevents us from actually feeding the things that we want to put an end to. And so we want entertainment in our lives. We want leaders that can help us to build a better world. We want also to become empowered and to be sovereign and to be authentic and take it upon ourselves to, do our part. So a lot of these structures are going to have to transform and change. And as the facades begin to crumble, the higher integrity can begin to rise of the better intention that exists somewhere within that. So there's a lot of good intention in certain religions. There's a lot of really, really incredible artists, that are trying to, put their craft out there, their art craft. And now, yeah, it's definitely like this ritualistic and this, dark, blood covenant type, thing, where the currency is innocent children. So I'm just trying to appeal to those that don't want to see that larger picture, that misunderstand people that are calling this out as being conspiracy theorists or somebody that's leaning on a certain, political party. that is just way too superficial. And it's not about anything but this for a lot of us. Wanting to hold accountable those that are behind these crimes against humanity, and protecting, children, and stopping human trafficking rings. The level of slavery on this planet right now is ridiculous. And if we keep just burying our heads in the sand, we are not playing our real role here on this earth. We have a greater purpose than just buying into whatever society tells us and being shaped and socially engineered by whatever narrative is being steered. Each one of us has to do something. These things are happening. I have clients a couple times a week that are survivors of things like human trafficking, ritualistic abuse, pedophilia. I see it every day. None of this is a joke. But when it becomes like this battle of, politics, then it's like, oh, there's denial. So stop with the belief systems and start to get into your heart, find integrity, really do what's right. We have a huge responsibility on this planet to put an end to all this and shift the world. So I'm trying to talk to those that are blinded right now by this CV whatever and mandatory vaccinations. This is the ultimate end goal, is to link us into an artificial system, even more so than we've already been. We can say, no, I do not consent. I am a sovereign being. So this is for those that are having a hard time doing that. Do not feel threatened that your world is crumbling and it's not what you thought. Don't be threatened on an ego level. Allow the ego identity crisis to take place so that the best of you can emerge and you can begin to recognize, you're a divine being and it's time to do what's right. We have to accept the being mistaken, the being led astray, the being brainwashed, and the crushing reality that many have invested their lives into something that maybe isn't as honest as one thought. But you still got an education. You still, are doing something of value, just by going through all that. Now it's time to change it and turn it around. And if you're in the medical industry, if you're a lawyer, if you're in any of these positions of power, to begin to, take more of a stand and not allow this. So we need to rally together as a humanity to protect one another and support one another. It's crushing, it's destabilizing, and it is something a lot of people fear. And then a sort of denial sets in, and it's like, okay, we'll just do whatever, we're being told in the news. And obviously the fake news has humiliated our current president that is actually showing options besides mandatory vaccinations. I mean, that alone should open people's mind. And again, it's not about politics. It's not about giving your power away, but where's the common sense? So much is at stake right now, and people that I know very well, and they're trying to wake up their friends and family. They're so stressed out just trying to spread information. They're being called crazy and mistreated. So I'm talking to the people that aren't listening to their friends and family, that are trying to help you to see the larger picture so that we can do what's right. It's up to us to correct this. So we got to take a stand, and we have to come together, and we have to be loving and respectful to one another. We got to get out of the personality matrix, begin to move into the soul matrix. And that is what's being threatened, that we will be torn even further from our soul matrix. And if that happens, there is really no ascension, which is movement into higher earth energies and the activation of our dormant strands of DNA. So we have to be so careful about our choices right now. And we have to be so much more loving and compassionate and kind, and have an ultimately open mind. So just know that this isn't about politics. This is about rescuing humans and children from child trafficking rings, pedophilia, ritual abuse, and protecting our own bodies and health from something that has been proven to be dangerous. So the denial about what's being sprayed with the chemtrails, the denial about what's in the vaccinations is what's holding us back. And so your willingness to allow this awakening is going to make all the difference in the world. We're not going to be able to change these dark controllers, but we can support the change in one another, to come together in unity consciousness, to help share information, to have healthy debates without belittling and trashing one another, without it becoming about politics. We have to do what's right. This is our opportunity as a human race to do what is right. So it's all about education. It's all about open mind. It's all about working through it, and also rehabilitating and overcoming the shock, the trauma, and the pain, because there's been so much betrayal. So let, the good in all of this rise, but let's call out the criminal activities. Let's investigate and be sure that investigations happen with those that are being called out for pedophilia and ritual abuse and any of these activities. We have to take these stories seriously. And we also have to understand that there's trauma-based mind control, happening in these, these cabal families. And we want to hold, forgiveness and understanding and educate ourselves about what it is we're up against, so that, we are not, creating further opposition. We have to know what we've been dealing with. And it's hardcore stuff to have to look at. I mean, I was bedridden for a long time trying to process this stuff, and it's still painful every day, because I constantly have, clients telling me, what they've gone through. But we have to be brave. We have to be brave in this way. So much is at stake. And so in this time of quarantine, where you don't even have to show up for work, begin to allow yourself to wrap your head around this kind of information and move through the darkness of it all, and release the anger and the pain and the fear and the shock, and call upon help and assistance of people that are, all about this kind of stuff. I have subscribers and I do sessions, and I'm here for that kind of thing. And there's a lot of others like us out here. And, we're looking to create healing centers, and, so there's nothing but rehabilitation in front of us. But right now we are at a huge crossroads, and we can't resist the growth period we need to go through to begin to accept that this stuff exists. I mean, I don't want it to exist. So the people talking about it that are called conspiracy theories, they don't want it to exist. Yes, some things do go to the extreme though, and there are psyops to, make anything conspiracy related look ridiculous. And so, let's get real with each other though. Let's work together. It's up to us. And supporting an administration doesn't mean it's a political thing. We need to send good energy and hope for the best, but we need to take action ourselves. And so this is why I'm calling out to all those that refuse to listen to your friends and family, who are just gonna, be steered by, the news, and get locked in the, battle in a way that they'd like to see, the divide and conquer. I'm asking you to just be willing to go through this growth period. And then we can begin to work together to build a new world and build a better world, and start to embody the solutions, and not allow the war amongst each other, and time's a ticking, and the time is now. So please listen to your friends and family when they're trying to educate you. And those of us that are trying to open people's minds up to information that's difficult, be very gentle and compassionate in the way that you do it. We just got to do it in the highest of integrity. And so I just want everybody to know, my heart's totally with you. It is so crushing and absolutely, unreal. But when you've been in this field long enough, and you've just seen just enough evidence, and I see it firsthand by doing sessions, and you see the documentation and these things held in secrecy, and the off-planet connection of, different beings, and our galactic history that has been kept from us. There's no denying that Pizzagate and pedophilia and ritual abuse is something that those in powerful positions are engaging in. And these rings, these human trafficking rings, are huge. Okay, so people got the Epstein story, the NXIVM, understanding Weinstein, but the amount of other branches to this that exist is huge. So let's keep going and let's do all that we can. Let's not make this political. Let's not let the mind control and social engineering get the best of us. Focus on your heart, focus on your soul, family, unity, integrity, compassion. Let's be patient and gentle with each other, but let's not turn a blind eye. Protect yourself and be willing to look at the larger picture. I'm sending so much love, and any way I can support you, reach out, maybe join some of my groups. It's hard to be as in touch with everybody as I would like to, but my heart's there, and let's just trust ourselves and trust the divine, trust cosmic and natural law that we're made of. This actually has the upper hand. But if we allow our minds to be taken, it also steals our creative imagination and our dream energy and our ability to manifest a future that we would like. So let's do this, everybody. And I love you. Thanks for listening. Bye.